Hey guys, welcome to this week's podcast episode. I'm really excited about today's guest, Soribel Martinez. She's a licensed counseled social worker and she's an entrepreneur. And so today we're going to be talking about helping private practice owners build unbreakable lives and businesses. I love bringing entrepreneurs onto the show, giving the guests and audience, an intimate 30-minute conversation. And we're going to talk about leadership, business skills. It can be great conversation. So Soribel, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. How are you?
Good. Kind of talk about your background and your journey and how you got started, and we'll get right into it.
Yes. So my name is Soribel Martinez. I am Dominican descent. As you can notice, the accent. I am a licensed clinical social worker in the state of Connecticut. I am the CEO of SMPsychotherapy and Counseling Services. We are a group practice of mental health practitioners who are providing mental health services to women and their families. And how I got started is because as a single mom, I was working as a school social worker and I was earning $100,000 a year. But honestly, my dreams were too big for myself and my son. And I decided to come into private practice, open my business. So I've been doing the private practice since 2018. But a year and a half ago, like about a year and a half ago, I decided that I wanted to also help other private practice owner build, grow the private practice to $1 million and beyond. And that is some of the things that I'm doing right now, teaching about, unbreakable leadership, how you can build an unbreakable life and business, right? Because it's not just about our businesses, right? Our businesses have portions of us, right? It has our purpose, our vision, our mission. So I think that that's important. So that's what I'm doing now.
Yeah, I love that. So I love this idea. One thing is talking about how did moving from being a school social worker to private practice change your career?
It really changed it because although at some point, $100,000 was a lot of money, right? As you can see in this economy, and probably a few years ago, that started changing. And as a single mom, I wanted my son to go to private school, and private schools fees were eating most of my income. So my son was the main motivator to do this, and also my purpose, my vision, and my mission to help other people, right, grow and scale and build better life and unbreakable businesses. So that transition for me was interesting because at first I was like, you know what, I'm going to start part time and I'm going to do my school social work job, which it was good because I had all the holidays off, I had the summers off, I was home when my son was off. It was like really comfortable. However, I needed more. So I started, my goal was to start part-time. So what I did was I created my business plan, and I created a business, a marketing a strategy and a marketing plan. And what happened is, like, before I opened the doors to the private practice, I already had 150 people on my wait list.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. It's interesting because just talking to so many entrepreneurs, a lot of them are just like they wanted more, just like you were making 100K, but that was you wanted more, you wanted to make impact, and it's interesting. There's this meme on social media where it's like they pay you enough at your job just to keep you there and kind of comfortable. So it's quite interesting. Next question is so we'll talk about your book, which is really interesting, and kind of talk about this mental health and leadership, and how do you see the role of leadership in the mental health world?
So here's the thing. The truth is that whether if we are leaders in the mental health sector, or we are leaders in other ways in our communities, in the work that we do, in our businesses, we are leaders. And we also need to work on that piece of our mental health, right? Like I said, we are not separate from our businesses. Our part of our purpose is what we do as a business owner, right? So I believe that in order for us to become unbreakable in our life and businesses, we have to become unbreakable leaders. And what leaders do really is have a clear understanding about our purpose, our vision, and our mission, and how that is really in alignment for us to create a bigger impact in the community, and also really understanding about our personal leadership, right? Because we all impact the life of others, our children, our families. Maybe we are the first one in our families to be a business owner, in our communities, to our partners. So that personal leadership needs to be developed. And I believe that when we are able to clearly communicate, right, our vision, and our purpose, that purpose that we have, we can clearly communicate. We begin to develop that personal leadership, and then we can extend that to the community, to the work that we do, to our employees, to all the people around us that are part of that mission.
Yeah, yeah, I love that, and I can kind of hear your passion and kind of growing and kind of having an exponential effect. The other kind of the question is, for entrepreneurs listening, a lot of it's hardship, setbacks, resilience, and so you've faced a lot of challenges, from a number of standpoints. So talk about how being an underdog in so many different ways shape your views on business, mental health, entrepreneurship.
So the truth is that I believe that we grow leaders, entrepreneurs, we grow when we are under fire, when we are being created as that diamond, as that rock that needs to be shaped. I believe that we grow and we scale and expand outside of the comfort zone. So I have, yes, faced a number of challenges in my life, right? From being diagnosed with two brain aneurysms and brain surgery, losing my child, immigration at an early age to the United States, and separation from some of my family members, friends. I wrote the book Unbreakable because I wanted to teach people that we need resiliency in our personal lives and resiliences in our businesses, because let's face it, there's going to be time in our businesses where crisis is going to hit, like we just went through a global pandemic, right, where we were tested really good, and how good of leaders we are. So how do we build that? We build that becoming resilient, understanding that there are going to come crisis, there's going to come adversity, and that we need to build tools and strategies that are going to help us bounce back from the bad times, negative time, crisis, loss of a family member, maybe loss of your job, of your business. Maybe you lost employees like me, that I lost few employees not too long ago, right? So when those times come, we need to be able to implement some of those resiliency skills so we can continue moving forward strong. Never perfect, but we can continue to be the leaders that we are.
Yeah. Yeah, I certainly remember the March 2020, and I was just like, man, it was kind of like the, hell had frozen over, and it was just like, you can either make an opportunity out of it, like learn from it. And now, everything is Zoom and I can live anywhere, work anywhere, or you can kind of cuddle up and cry. But,
Well, I believe that inside of every crisis and inside of every problem or adversity, there's always a seed for greatness. There's always a seed for opportunities, right? An opportunity to grow personally, an opportunity to grow as a leader, an opportunity to grow in your family, an opportunity to show the world how we manage crisis, right? Because we leaders, we're not going to go hide in a corner and cry. We are going to honor our feelings. We are going to honor what we're dealing with, but we also going to decide to bounce back. We never stay down.
yeah, yeah, which we're going to talk about being unbreakable, and we're going to talk about building an Unbreakable Life and Business. But kind of before that, talk about bigger goals and future plans, how you see the future of mental health care, its effect on people, and what are your big plans for SMPS psychotherapy and counseling services in the next few years?
So mental health is one of the most emotional, and mental health is one of the most important aspects of a person's life. Whether if you just have a regular job that you enjoy and love, or you are an entrepreneur, or your mom and dad, whatever role you have in society, your mental and emotional health is empirical. So especially now we have going through a financial crisis. We just been through the pandemic. I think that more than ever, especially as we open the doors more with telehealth, right, and telemedicine, that we are paying attention. So this is not going to stop. People should, I advise everyone, whether if you have psychological, psychiatric problems or not, you should always have a therapist in your back pocket. Always, everyone. It doesn't matter what you do, how you do it. We all need someone that can listen to us, right? Because you may not be impacted directly. Like I didn't lose any family members during the pandemic, thank God. But there were other people that were losing their families. And that's a trigger of emotions for us. And we need to be able to talk about that with someone. So mental health is going to continue to grow, to support people, but also as a business, right? It's giving us the opportunity to grow more. Right now, 40% of Americans, of adult Americans, are suffering from depression and anxiety. That's a huge number. So that shows us mental health practitioners that we have to expand and grow. So for SMPsychotherapy and counseling services, my goal is to have a mental health practitioner in every state of the United States, including Puerto Rico. My goal is to create programs to serve families in their homes, to serve the elderly people. So, to serve the undocumented folks that are dealing with trauma and mental health issues. So I see SMPsychotherapy and counseling services really being on the top of the leaders of in the mental health sector, whether if it's providing the services or helping other people to build and grow their own private practice.
Yeah. And then the other question is, because, kind of mental health, emotional health is kind of the pillars for everything, resiliency. Okay, there's this recent idea trending around. It's called emotional independence. And because I've read about like codependent relationships and unhealthy relationships, kind of talk about, these emotional independence.
One of the things that I believe we need to start for us adults, reshaping the way that we connect in relationships. And we know that how we depend or do not depend on relationship have everything to do with our childhood. So one, for adults, we need to heal those inappropriate relationship, the negative attachment that we have had, or lack of attachment, right? Or maybe abandonment from parents, from relationships that are important. But also, let's focus on teaching our children to be emotionally independent, not just physically and financially independent, which is really important. But the most important part is that our kids, our teenagers, and adults, us, we are like building resiliency, where when we are struggling, yes, we want to reach out to support, but we don't want to become codependent. We want to be able to utilize tools and strategies that will help us bounce back from whatever it is that we're going through, but we are not codependent, usually negatively codependent from someone else to survive, because it's not going to work.
Yeah. Kind of as we end the yeah, it's quite interesting because, when I learned about financial independence, where you're not dependent on like a job or government or boss or your parents or whatever, kind of you can create your own economic success. But the interesting is now there's emotional independence where you create your own inner happiness, independent of anybody. So nobody or external, which is really interesting.
Yeah, because the truth is that the external forces can be the reason why we get up every day, right? Let's be real today. As the entrepreneur, you know that no one is calling you to say, hey, you got to be at work at 8 o'clock in the morning. Hey, you have clients. Hey, you have to make money. Hey, you have to market, right? So we don't do that. So we cannot depend on the external circumstances or the external relationship for us to have alignment between our purpose, our vision, and our mission. And that inner passion, that inner purpose, that inner drive has to come internally. So when we lose ourselves, right, when we get disconnected from that, we cannot go to the outside world to find the answers to that. We have to go find the answer where we lost it internally inside of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. Then finally, as we kind of conclude, talk about being unbreakable, unstoppable in life and business. Talk about where people can find your book and how they can find you and follow you on social media.
So my first book, best-selling book, is called Unbreakable. And I wrote Unbreakable not just for you. I wrote Unbreakable for me as well. Because the truth is that my stories are your stories. The difference is that you and I are into, like, two different bodies, but I'm a reflection of your story and you're a reflection of my story. So what I did was in that book is compile some of those stories and give you tools and strategies that will help you overcome, become resilient, and really build the life that you desire. Emotional health, mental health, financial health, right? Being a leader and all of those other things. So now you can go to Amazon and look for the book Unbreakable by Soribel Martinez. You will find the book, and also you're going to find the journal that comes along with that book. Because the truth is, reading a book is not enough.
Yeah.
You have to do the work, right? You have to read the book, study the book, and also do the internal work so we can do the work internally so we can become unbreakable. And then in terms of where you can find me, soribelmartinez.com. I am Soribel Martinez on LinkedIn. You can find me on Facebook. You're going to find me on Instagram as therapist underscore Soribel Martinez. And I'm basically like everywhere. If you Google me, you're going to find the book Unbreakable. You're going to find me talking about my brand new book that's coming out next year. So yeah, all of that is happening.
Yeah. And for all the listeners out there, let's thank Sorbel. Amazing story, amazing entrepreneurship story. All of her resources will be in the links and show notes. Be sure to follow her. Be sure to check out her book as well. It's on Amazon. Leave a great review and follow her on social. And with that, thanks so much for coming on to the podcast.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. And I just want to let you know, guys, you have the potential and you have everything inside of you so you can create an unbreakable life and business. Never a perfect life and business, but a life that you can enjoy living.
Yeah, I love that. And with that, thanks so much for coming on to the podcast.
Thank you.